growing on? It's the Garden Goddess here reporting from Dallas, Texas. It is Sunday and it's 75 degrees. So you know that I am outside trying to get my ish together because, woo, it is real out here. Still trying to get the garden beds together. That's where I'm walking right now. So this video today, we are going to review how I start my garden beds, what I put in them, what I've decided to put in them, and how I layer my ingredients. Pretty much I kind of treat it like a soup and just mix everything in. Once again, this is just how I get it started. I've noticed that when I start garden beds, it's never as good as when I actually been amending it over time, and then once you start planting your vegetables and you get your earthworms in there and all of that good stuff starts getting there, it just gets better with time. But you want to give it a good start. You want to get it all, you want to give your vegetables the best chance possible by feeding them the best stuff. So found something really great at Lowe's today, so I am going to show you all what I'm going to fill this bed with. So if you remember from previous videos, I do have 4 garden beds here, and I'm experimenting with different soils in these last 3. So this is nothing but compost from Soil Building Systems. No. This is nothing but compost from Living Earth. This is nothing but compost from Soil Building Systems. And this bed, which has nothing in it, is just lined with just a single layer of newspaper and cardboard, is going to be filled with this material that I found from Lowe's called Hapi-Gro. Not only do they have a landscape mix that they claim you can use for flowers and vegetables, but they also have a compost that they say you can use for vegetables and flowers as well. Now, y'all know I'm kind of hesitant when using these soil mixes because, once again, they are bare. Like you have to amend it crazy to get any type of results. But this is what I'm gonna try, and we're gonna see if it works. The biggest thing about this is $3. It's about $3.50 per bag. So this stuff is cheaper than my Soil Building Systems and my Living Earth. So if this works out, this is definitely the most affordable way to go. You get 2 cubic feet for $3.50. Soil Building Systems was a 40-pound bag, and Living Earth was a 2 cubic foot bag. And as you can tell, you get more by doing the 2 cubic foot bag versus the 40-pound bag. So far, Soil Building Systems is the most expensive, and then Living Earth is coming in second, is the second most expensive, and then you have this Hapi-Gro. So we will see how that goes. But first off, what we're going to do in this bag is during winter I was gathering leaves. So I have 5 bags of leaves. These are 30-gallon bags of leaves. It's going to just go in the very bottom of the garden bed. And just to give it a good start, and eventually the leaves and actually it's tree limbs too. So it's tree limbs and leaves are going to go in the bag, or go in the bottom of the garden bed, and eventually break down and hopefully break this newspaper and cardboard down so that I can really tap into the nutrients underneath the garden bed. The biggest thing is, you see all this grass? I wanted to make sure that was not growing in my garden bed. I made that mistake at the other house of, it's just a lot of soil, so just put the soil on top and then just pray that weeds don't come through. That sounds nice, but they do come through, guys. Like, these weeds have a will to live, and I don't care how much soil you put on, because what was happening was it wasn't coming up in the middle of the bed, the grass and stuff. It was coming up along the edges. So it's like, yeah, you didn't, it's not growing in the middle of the garden bed, but now you have like this grass hedge around your garden bed. So I was like, I'm not doing that again. It's a pain to try and pull up grass that is now what, at my other house, it was like 12 feet long, 12 feet tall. So I just put the cardboard down, but I wanted something that was going to decompose over time. So that's what I chose. In the top half of the, after doing the leaves, and then I'm going to do the mix of the soil and the compost, in the top 6 inches, I'm going to mix in peat moss. Peat moss is really going to help with balancing out the fact that I have so much compost in it. I mean, you want it to be as alkaline and as basic as possible, the soil. So this is going to add a little bit of acidity, but also it's going to help with drainage. This expanded shell is going to be mixed in the top 6 inches, and it's going to help with drainage as well. Also, Texas green sand is going to be my initial fertilizer. It's going to help deposit a lot of great minerals into the soil, and it really helps with root growth, all of that great stuff, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I will just tag back in with you guys as I finish each layer. Okay, so first layer of leaves. This is 5 bags of 30-gallon leaves. I will admit I only put 3 bags in these beds, but I noticed how much the leaves settled. So I filled this up, but you see how high the leaves are, which are deceiving. So I did this after about 2 leaves, but I just am stumping it down. Nothing fun or crazy. It was kind of fun. Just very unsexy. Just stomp it in leaves like you're smashing grapes. Just to kind of, this also helps break up the limbs. And so I had a lot of tree limbs in here. You can hear them kind of crunching and, ooh, here we go. So we're just breaking up all the tree limbs and just smashing everything into place, so that I have more room for soil. All right, these leaves are really dry too. Some of it at the bottom was wet, but if they were wetter, they'd be condensing a little bit more. There we go. All right. So there are my leaves. Next, what I'm going to do is layer the regular Hapi-Gro soil, so the landscaper mix, and then on top of that I am going to do the organic compost. So let me layer the landscaper mix to a pretty good height, and then I'll be back. Okay, whew. A little bit out of breath. So first impression of this landscaper mix soil, I actually kind of like it. Honestly, it had a smell, and I was like, what does this smell like? It smells like cedar. Now, what I'm doing now is after I put it in there, I do use my rake to kind of rake it out and get it into the corners. But then I really just like, this could be the kid in me, I really like going through and breaking up any clumps that I might see and just kind of evening it out. Wear gloves if this creeps you out. But I like doing this, just getting rid of the tall heels. You can see that's kind of a heel right there. But just kind of raking it out and making sure it's even, making sure there's no clumps. But this is, how many bags is this? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 bags of the landscaper mix. I actually have 2 more. I'm gonna finish raking this out, and then I'll come back and let you guys know what I decided to do, if I wanted to add another couple of bags. You can see down in this corner, I mean, it's a lot of soil, guys. It takes a lot, but you can see I can still see leaves down here. So I might put another bag in this corner just to kind of make sure all the leaves are covered up in the sticks and stuff. All right. Okay guys, just dumped the first bag of compost on top of my soil. Looks suspect. This looks more like mulch. This stuff, oh, there's plastic. Little plastic piece in there. Stick. This almost looks like I should have put this at the bottom with the with the leaves and the, what is that? I don't even know what this is. I feel like I should have put this at the bottom with the leaves and the limbs. Dang it. So it's not very composted at all. I think this would have been great to put at the bottom, or to put at the beginning of the season, or the very end of the season. No, end of the season into winter, so this could break down some more, because yeah, I mean, what's gonna grow in this? You know, the roots need a little bit more protection. So I have I think 4 or 5 bags of this. So what I'm gonna have to do is it's about to get really well mixed into this. And then I have one more bag left of the landscaper mix, and I'm just gonna layer that on top, and just pray that that's enough. Interesting. Yeah, I have one other garden bed all the way down there on the end. And what I'm going to do, this, I still might use this. It's just going to go on the bottom. It's just going to be a filler. And it'll just be something else that needs to be broken down with the leaves and the limbs. So let me go grab my shovel and start kind of mixing this soil in with this compost. Because I am going to use it. It's just, it can't be the top layer. It just can't. Oh my gosh, no. Alright guys, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm a little worried. You know, but this is part of the experiment. We're gonna see what Hapi-Gro has to offer. You know, now that it's kind of next to the other one, it does kind of look like the other compost. I mean, I still love this living earth, but we will see. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now is start layering on. I'm gonna do the peat moss, the expanded shell, and the green sand. And then I have one more bag. Oh, it's right there. I have one more bag of the actual landscaper mix, the soil that I'm gonna put on top. And we just gonna hope for the best. So I'll be back. Okay, so this is the peat moss. And man, you need to make sure you have your little shovel with you because you got to kind of pick it out of this bag. Right now, I have a half of this 2.2 cubic foot bag that I'm just really just trying to layer on top. You will need to break up the clumps, all of that. I might add a little bit more maybe down there, but I just want to get a good maybe, you know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch thick of peat moss on top. To really help with moisture retention and all that great stuff. So I'm gonna finish breaking this up and then I will be back. All right, I don't know if you can tell, but I had the peat moss down and I also added the expanded shell. Now these are little rocks and I know this looks like a lot, but remember I haven't mixed it in. This is going to be mixed into the top 6 inches of the soil. I'm just layering everything so I have a good idea of what's actually going into the garden bed. I probably could put a little bit more, but I'm a little cautious because there is a lot going on in here. There's this uncomposted compost that has all of these wood sticks, and I think that's gonna give a lot of drainage. And also what I didn't show you all, I'll show you all in just a second, is the landscape mix has vermiculite in it. And so I think it's gonna have good drainage, and I want to do a lot of root crops. I don't think these are so small it shouldn't hinder the root crops, but this is something that I might add in more as I go. I just don't want to put too much. This is my first time actually adding this in the soil. My other soil that I bought at my other house had it already mixed in. The rocks were way larger than this though. These are a lot smaller than what the company had mixed in to what I bought in the vegetable mix that was crap. So I'm just gonna leave it at this, just a very thin layer. I mean, gosh, can you believe I bought 2 bags of this? I don't know why I did that. So we'll see. We'll just see how it goes, see how the drainage is, and I have a buttload of it, so we'll just add more as we go. Okay, so now this is the soil with the Texas green sand sprinkled all over it. I don't know if you can see these dark areas here. That is the green sand, which to my surprise is actually not green at all. But guys, tell me why I bought 2 bags of this. Let's read the instructions. Important to read the instructions before we buy this stuff. Okay, the rate that you put this down in your vegetable garden is 40, I don't know if y'all can see that. I don't know if you can see it. Anyways, it's 40 pounds per 500 square feet. So this is a 40-pound bag. This is a 40-pound bag, and that feeds 500 square feet. This is an 8 by 3 square foot bed. It's about 18 inches tall with about 12 inches of leaves and limbs. So I'm going to say 24 square feet. This bag feeds 500 square feet. So if I did the math, all I really need is 3 pounds of this for this whole bed. So I just took my shovel, I just dipped my shovel in there and pretty much just kind of, you know, sprinkled it on top. I don't want to burn my plants. This is like almost a lifetime supply. But yeah, so not a lot of green sand. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is actually put the rest of my landscaper soil on top and mix it in like a soup into the first 6 inches, and I'll come back and show you what I got. Alright guys, and there we have it. So mixed in the last bag of soil and just went, you know, on my knees and not hand mixed it. I did use my little shovel. I don't know where it went, but I just scooped and turned it. And it's some of the expanded shell. I could probably definitely go with more expanded shell. But yeah, I mean, the reality is no soil is perfect, right? Like, you're just not gonna find the perfect mix unless you're, you know, digging it from the earth. Honestly, if you're buying it from a bag, nothing's gonna be perfect. I found big rocks, I found big pieces of clay. That's just life, guys. Like, and I felt good though, because I was going through every piece of the soil and I was able to, you know, loosen up those pieces and take out those big rocks, knowing that, okay, this garden bed is good. So there we have it. We're gonna call this the Hapi-Gro bed, and we're just gonna see how well it does, you know, see what it produces, see how big the plants get versus our soil building systems bed, which I still need to put more soil in it, and I will amend this bed the exact same way I amended this bed. So and then my living earth bed, we're gonna do that, and then this, my last poor rejected I don't know what bed this is. This is gonna be whatever I have left over. This will probably be a little bit of everything. I'm just trying to get this one filled at some point, but yeah, there we go. There's our beds. All right, so there we have it, folks. I got dirt all up on my head. This is not very glamorous. Got my afro puffs, but got it done. And I have to admit, this is probably my least favorite part of gardening, is starting the garden beds, getting everything in place. It's expensive, it's a lot of work, but if you do it right, it saves you so much time and energy down the road. So anyways, follow me. I think the next video I'm gonna probably do is my seedlings and show you all what I'm growing and how they're growing and all that great stuff. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, subscribe. This is raw, unedited. You get to see all my mistakes, all of that, y'all. If y'all like this, subscribe and let me show you what not to do most of the time, because I am super new to this. Anyways, love y'all. Have a blessed day.